I don't think you want to do that in this case for Blacklist. Again, your scaling is sort of fine, but when it comes down to it, you're up against a Faceless Void, and I don't think any of your cores measure up to that in terms of how well they scale into a very late game scenario here.
We are getting into it, John. Game number 1 here between Blacklist Rivalry and TNC Predator.
Yes, bleed for
Here we go. The matchup everyone's been wanting, everyone's been waiting for, and we actually end up getting it.
You make mistakes.
You're going to have to do a lot of translating, I think, Jonathan. It's already started. Palos is saying something.
I was just saying,
good luck.
Good luck.
Kuya John,
Kuya
why is everyone
Gavi,
dressed
older
in
brother to Gavi. No, it's not me. That's Natsumi. He's John Anthony Vargas. And Gavi's not wishing good luck. He's saying watermelon banana. All right. Not that much spice. These guys are holding back. No spice. Maybe when someone loses, there's gonna be some spice.
What is it with you Pinoys and having like a billion names? You say John Anthony.
Yeah. Then there's the middle name as well, which is your mother's. Yeah, our names are long. All right. You tend to have 2 first names. Then you have the middle name, middle initial, which is your mother's maiden name, and then your actual last name. So I don't know. It's a carryover from the Spanish, at least, with the middle initial, I think. Everything else, I know. It's just silliness. We like our weird names, Mike. There's John Nathan. There's Jonathans. There's Jonathan. No, there's a lot of ways to do stuff here, Mike.
Certainly is, John.
You're one to talk with your first name.
Oh,
don't let me dox you here.
Cox. Cox is going to go for a fight over this bounty rune and actually does get it. Natsumi, he went for the plasma field level 1, so he does take a fair bit of damage on the way out. But he's alright. He'll make his way out just fine. It's going to be a 2-for-2 trade in terms of bounties. And of course, we should start with the mid lane, shouldn't we, John? Yoe's going to be up against Arbed in the DK vs Leshrak matchup. Pretty boring match here, John, between these two players, but do you expect anything particular to happen?
Should be stable for Abed. It should also be stable for Yoe. There shouldn't be any big kill threats coming out here. You're actually pretty happy on Yoe overall. Stable harassment onto Abed. You're not going to be held back too badly by the Reed Fire. It will impact your mana regen a little bit, I guess, with the Chronoptic Nourishment, but it's not really a big factor here for Yoe. So, should just be able to farm up. Level 6 is when it gets spicy. If Abed can get some room to shove in mid, that should force the response out. Rune control is much more important for Yoe as well in comparison. I don't know if you're really going to emphasize that mid rune control, though. As, again, you're up against a DK. You probably don't need the additional reinforcements to just steal a rune away, so you might be able to afford to hold on to just your side lanes here from TNC and just try to build off of that, considering how strong these side lanes can be.
Well, why is Tim's getting tipped? Tim's has done something. Cuckoo will let him know about it, as Cuckoo actually forced to run back towards his fountain, actually decides better of it and does come back towards the bottom lane. Because you do have Gabby and Palos going at it here down to the bottom lane, and it seems like Tim's has been doing some good work enforcing Cuckoo away from this bottom. Again, the Wyvern will make its reappearance. He won't go all the way back to the fountain because he still had some tangos to regen with. It does seem like this bottom lane is proving to be rather challenging here for Cuckoo. So you see, as soon as they see the Wyvern, Gabby and Tims are both running right at it.
I mean, you gotta send a message, right? And this is the lane that's a little bit more spicy than most. Palos, Cuckoo, both were part of Blacklist at certain points. Both are not, obviously. And, you know, you want to lay it on just a little bit. I'm sure they're all friends, but they're no friends in Dota, Mike, when you're up against each other.
Absolutely not. Well, what about that top lane? You've had Januel and Natsumi against Cox and Jing. Because there'll never be a day in SCA qualifier history where I can avoid Cox now, I think, Johnny's just always going to be here.
Yeah.
I wonder if one TO is going to make him change his name. Like, if Val, if he gets the TI, are they going to make him change his name, or are we all just going to be calling him Cox the whole TI-13?
Yeah.
Is that what's going to happen?
It's just Cox. Yeah. It's much better than Avatar mode with a 3 for the E.
That is true.
Admittedly.
That was cringy.
You know, you had some cringy usernames here. And also, the history of this top lane, I mean, Cox, Jing, Natsumi were all in Geek Fam before they all left, so...
True.
Lots of back and forth history here. Still looking like a very decent lane coming out from Natsumi. Not as much pressure Cox can really put out here. Zhao's doing a great job just with the Thunder Strike, of course, to just make it a little bit hellish for Cox. He does have the stick ready for some flash regen, and they do have the Lotus on hand. So at the least, they can play around with that. And you are still in pretty good spot overall for the side of Blacklist in the laning phase. Again, you're getting good time for Abed, you're having decent time for Gabby and Natsumi. You're not able to capitalize as much on TNC. And their aggression against a little bit slower, although
they're going to move in now. Natsumi's been left behind here by Januel, who was trying to clear out some creeps by the small camp. So Natsumi does immediately get taken down here by Cox and Jing. Now, Jing was very good with that as well. He's noticing the rotation from Januel. He immediately just Sakuchi's right behind the Razor and sets up a beautiful swarm to secure the kill.
yeah, that's what you want to see. Again, and the Razor does have a decent time here. The lightning synergy between these two heroes are nice. A lot of slows, a lot of damage. But you managed to get the swarm on, and you managed to get the crush off. It's a lot of damage early on. This is just set to get a little bit worse. Mind you, whenever Januel can trade blows with Jing, it's not going to feel comfy for good old Jing as well. But he does manage to get the block off while he's in the area, so the pull shouldn't be coming out as frequently. Zhao.
I think Zhao's just dead here. And Jing is still going, has the Fairy Fire, he's going to be just fine. Natsumi's unable to get within range to actually get the kill on the Weaver, but Zhao gets him from the grip. It's a bit of a trade, but still very worthwhile for the side of TNC.
And it is. You're feeding a lot of these kills over to Cox. Already level 4 now on that Slardar. Phase Boot's not too far off. Is having a grand old time. Again, not farming the best, but finding these kills does compensate quite a fair bit. And it gives a bit of an opportunity for Jing to top up Yoa down mid. Which is, again, it's not the best lane for Yoa. It's not the worst. He is still finding farm. Abed's certainly in control of that mid lane, which is to be expected for the DK overall. So you're kind of just happy enough to give Yoa more tools to play with. He is getting his stacks up. No real contest for the runes again. Much more focused on those side lanes. I think the one thing that is going fairly alright for the side of TNC is the fact that they are just really pressuring in bot. There's a huge creep wave. A lot of EXP for Gabby to find. At the same time, they're making this very uncomfy for Gabby, especially while Tims is out.
Yeah, they try to abuse Gabby as much as possible while Tims is not around. Tim's currently just by Abed in the mid lane, just making sure Abed can secure some damage onto this tier 1 mid tower. Looks like Tims will leave the area. Abed's going to run out of his dragon form in about half its duration, as Jing has also shown up on the Weaver. So they are defending that tier 1 tower. I mean, it's a very slow process here for Abed. Does at least force the rotations here for the support of TNC. Nothing's going to come out of it. I mean, Tims is already rotating down towards the bottom lane again. So he might try to set up onto Palos. Yeah, Palos is salving up though. Looks like he's going to be alright.
Rather interesting from Yoa. Doesn't go for any points of the Edict, so is really focused on just controlling the lane. That does mean he loses a lot of push pressure if he is left alone mid. But again, he just wants to maintain that form up against Abed. Abed is starting to pull fairly ahead though. Is already looking for a bit of a movement out, maybe trying to snag a rune. Or just get a D-ward off. No wards in the area. It's outing out with a courier. But isn't also able to really get anywhere else, so... just a little bit of a back and forth. A little bit of a slower period right now early on in the game. But they are all ramping up towards that initial farm. It does feel like for Blacklist, the moment you hit some level 6s here, you will want to get active, especially on like Gabby, on Januel. Once he has a 6, you want to connect the Mars and the Disruptor. Look for a jump onto anyone. And see if that opportunity will present itself once these levels are up.
Top lane, Zhao could be a little bit in a bit of danger here. They might even go after Natsumi. Cox has got him. Natsumi trying to run, but the Bash of the Deeps are there, and at least Zhao is going to be able to TP on the Disruptor, but Natsumi is getting annihilated up at this top lane.
Yeah, he is. That was unfortunate from Zhao. He got the glimpse onto Cox to bring him even closer. Cox was already rushing towards Natsumi. And then the glimpse was just, oh, alright, just a little bit faster on that kill. Nice little find for the side of TNC. Level 6 up on Cox now. A slower start for Natsumi than you'd want for the Razor, as he really wants to be dominant in the lane. So now he's going to have to sit back, try to work onto the SNY or the Manta timing into a BKB, and that's going to take a little bit more time for the Razor. And your big strong point right now for Blacklist is this consistent pressure on mid. Already less than half HP. Rune control for Abed as well. Finds himself a nice amp damage rune. but won't really do much with it besides jungle. So again, not really focused on trying to connect anywhere yet. They are still lacking certain tools, like the blink for Abed has to come out first. Levels have to come true from your supports to really feel comfy, especially Zhao. This Disruptor has had a way slower time. Still stuck at 4, still ways off, does have some room up top. Gabby is going to make his way here, though.
They're going to try for Cox. Cox is trapped in that arena, no real way out for him. Nice little rotation here from Gabby to make that kill happen. And how even Abed ends up finding Jing in the mid lane, so they'll even get a bit of a support pick off here for the side of Blacklist Rivalry. And Abed looks like he wants to get back to work onto that mid-tier 1 tower. Pops the Dragon Form, of course. The Cuckoo is around the corner, but can they really defend? Abed's actually going to go for the Dragon Tail onto the Leshrac, but Yoe's going to go for a chase onto that Dragon Knight, and oh, misses the stun. Misses the stun, a little bit unfortunate, but Abed is still going to melt. Yoe does get it.
Some sick punish from TNC. Saves your tier 1 for a little bit longer. Not quite in deny range, unfortunately. But they do get to hang on to that objective. I do appreciate the aggressive wards from the side of Blacklist. I'm a little bit surprised Abed still played into that, considering they had vision. And we'll get a little bit of pokes on Yoe. He does not have mana to trade back here.
He does not. So he's still going to be okay to retreat, though. They are unable to secure the kill onto the Leshrac. And so far, 4-3 TNC's way. The problem is Blacklist Rivalry are slowly chipping away at your objectives with this Dragon Knight, so you know, whether these kills really mean too much for TNC is a different question entirely. For now, I suppose they're pretty happy, though, still holding onto that mid-tier 1 tower. All their cores are farming quite nicely, apart from maybe Palos. But I suppose you kind of expect a bit of a slower process here for the Void, so it doesn't really matter too much.
That doesn't. You're still getting a decent enough lane. You're going to hit your Maelstrom and then hit the jungle quite fine. You really want the initial farm to come out onto Yoe and Cox. This is the connection you're looking for here on the side of TNC. You want to be able to initiate, have the fall true damage. Just get that jump forward with Cox with a blink up first. And that's still 1,000 gold away. They are starting to apply pressure down bot. There are wards to at least watch this positioning of Gabby and of Tim's. So they should be able to stay safe on the side of TNC. They will have counterplay as well once Cuckoo hits his 6. So the curse should make things a lot easier when you do see that commitment out from Blacklist. Is gonna need a little bit more time. Just one creep wave to soak for Bosku should give that up. Should be maybe mildly concerned from Blacklist that they do overstay with the curse and the chrono available, but considering lack of damage from Palos, probably not a threat at this point yet. Yoe gets glimpsed back. That should tell the ward right on that ramp. Again, maximizing this tool here from the side of Blacklist.
Very unfortunate. The classic glimpse back from the Disruptor. Cuckoo's going to be spotted here as well on the Wyvern, so now it's very, very obvious. Sadly, no sentry wards on Cuckoo here, so he can't immediately get rid of that Observer ward. Meanwhile, Blacklist, they're going to smoke up as 2. Head down towards the bottom lane and see if they can find Palos. And if not, you can always just secure that tier 1 bottom tower. And Abed wrapping around the right way. Looks like he is going to end up running right into the Void in a moment. You've got Chrono on Palos, but he's going to need to use it to run, if anything. Abed does sneak up behind him, throws a blood grenade. Palos does avoid for now, but Zhao is going to find him with a Static Storm and locks him in. Palos still could time walk, but the glimpse back is there. Palos is down. He was surrounded anyway. And Blacklist Rivalry now, they should be able to slowly start into that top, rather bottom tier 1.
It's not too slow of a process. With that Corrosive Dragon form, even in melee form, you do get some debuffs onto the tower. It's not going to take too long to melt. They are trying to push in mid with Yoe, but the response is instant from the side of Blacklist here.
Nice glimpse back from Zhao. Yoe's going to be caught out. A very nice arena from Gabby, going to lock Yoe in. They'll get the spear off as well. And that'll be Yoe to go down. The Blacklist, they are starting to heat up quite a bit here in this game, number 1. The 3k advantage now for Blacklist Rivalry. They're going to find the mid-tier 1 tower as well. No problems by the looks of it. And TNC, they're the ones that need to try and slow this tempo down a little bit.
That they do. Again, they've got some tools available now. Cox does have his Blink Dagger up. So your Slaughterer can start to initiate for your team. You do have some good levels on Yoe. He's got the Kaya going into the Bloodstone. It does feel like at the least with the levels you have now, with a curse, with the chrono ready, there should be some counterplay available on the side of TNC. It's just very cooldown dependent in comparison to what Blacklist can do. Not that long on Arena, not that long on Static Storm. Even Dragon Form's not the longest downtime, so you always have some good play here on the side of Blacklist. And they are identifying that well. 4K lead coming out for Blacklist early, 4 to 5, 13.5 minutes in. Good forward vision as well from Blacklist. They still maintain that ward. It's just going to expire here from that ramp, getting full value from that. We do have vision over the stacks here as well, but not quite contesting, although lines are drawn. Might be able to snipe off Yoa here.
They're looking. Be a big pick off if they can get him. They won't make the jump in, instead mid lane. They are going to find the Weaver. Going to save though with the Cold Embrace for now, just a little bit longer, but not for too much longer. Jing will die. Yoe also caught out here by Tims. Will go for a run back towards the fountain, but the link is out from Natsumi, and that looks like Yoe is probably just dead. He will be. They'll at least get Tims on the way out, but it's definitely not worth the trouble. Blacklist rivalry fighting another 2-for-1. No towers to be taken here, but they are certainly starting to dominate this map.
And they are, against off the back of this really good vision, scouting out the triangle, understanding how strong their early power spike is, the fact that you've got a Razor. That can just show up with Yasha with no real imminent threat just yet for Natsumi. For TNC, it just feels like they need to wait a hell lot longer, especially under Lesh. Yo is off to a slow start, going back for the BKB now instead of the Bloodstone. You've also got Cox waiting for his own BKB before willing to commit. And this time to wait for the BKB, it's going to be 2 to 3 minutes where Blacklist are the ones that's just going to constantly jump you. Again, not that many long cooldowns here. Not much to wait for. All you need is Abed to jump in, or you get a good glimpse off from Zhao. And then you can just follow through with whatever combination you want on Blacklist's part. They even have this forward ward watching that bot jungle as well, right by the Watcher. So if Palos does sneak his way over at that point, at some point near the general area, could get some good punish. We'll just retake control up top instead. Are still hanging on to that tier 1 top. And they know this is probably where TNC will want to try to take a tower to open up the map a little bit more.
I mean, here we go, top lane. Big group up, big smoke up from TNC Predator. They can head into the mid lane, see if they can find Abed. Well, they just may as well. Abed completely on his own. Will get caught. He's a tanky boy. He's taking quite a while as Gabby's going to jump in, but the curse is out. Kuku going to ensure there's no follow-up quite yet as Abed.
Oh,
he will finally go down. A big static storm out. Yoe should drop. Can they find more? I think they can. Kuku's been caught. Kuku will drop. Another double kill out for Natsumi. Even Jing trying to run, but Zhao's going to find him with the glimpse back. He'll go for the time lapse, but it doesn't matter. Natsumi with a triple kill as Cox. And they're going to jump in. Palos, he's going to try for the kill, but the terrorize. Oh, what a terrorize from Thames. They don't have enough.
Oh, man.
What a shame.
Palos?
And the spear from Gabby. Palos gets caught. Cox will try to help out. It's not enough. Cox will run. The Cursed Crown will be there to stun him, but there will be no follow-up. Regardless, Natsumi getting away, and they still even find the kill on Palos. What a horrible scenario for TNC.
And it was such a good start as well. Like, they managed to get this really good chrono on the edge to allow even Cox to get a couple of hits in. It's just not enough. They need these BKBs to be up. And they need to avoid all of this counter control from the side of Blacklist. Again, not many long cooldowns. Great setups coming out from Zhao. The glimpse backs, the static storms, all on point. Gabby syncing up as well with a spear. Connections off the back of those glimpses. And for the side of TNC, I like that they're getting aggressive. It just doesn't feel like they can, especially around these TP points. Mid tier 1 still stands, top tier 1, bot tier 1 still there. Blacklist have map control. They're invading even further. Again, playing off these wards they have. Not able to catch anyone out, but you can see just the pressure from Blacklist off the back of this vision and added map reach. With their tier 1 standing, they can take any fight.
It's a very TNC Predator. 6k behind now. I mean, no way out of the game yet, but it is looking challenging. This Blacklist rivalry certainly hitting the spikes they want at the moment. Mid lane, Gabby's just hanging around. His team is nearby as Cuckoo's going to get some wards down in the Radiant jungle, but we're going to have a quick pause out for Cox. Having some ping issues here on the Slaughter. I mean, that last engagement in the mid lane did feel very desperate. Like the Palos coming in to try and trade with Natsumi. A desperate play to say the least, and even with the chrono committed, like they just don't have damage with this Void hero yet. It's just going to take such a long time to have the damage output required to find these kills in the chrono.
I feel like they do have damage. It's just the fact that, again, they were taking a fight 2v4, it felt like. 2v4, 2v3. And again, Gabby saying, good fight, or beautiful fight. Nice fight.
Oh, it doesn't matter how many times, you know, Gabby just never stays quiet.
No. Can you wait? Alright, Gabby. Alright. Balance the carries between two deaths. And that is factual. Except Palos is 0-2-0, but you know.
Very true.
Palos! Palos, don't... Palos said, we're not close. I might punch you. Gavin's like, bring it to late game, Palos.
I don't know what I was expecting.
Oh, boy.
Oh, my God.
Everyone else is
There it is.
very
That's
quiet.
what I was looking for.
Proud of you.
What's up?
Palos says he's just jogging.
Oh, no, don't mind me. Just a wee fairy going
Cannot
to
pee during tournament. Let us said G. Okay? Reason? Mouse. Your face!
Oi,
Oh!
Gabby, let's take it
Oh,
easy.
Gabby!
Let's take it easy.
I think you've got to watch out. That paints a target on your face. Man, these guys are... This is the spice we're looking for, Mikey.
Gabby's the
It's
one
coming.
guy, I tell you. It doesn't matter how many times you bring this man down, Gabby just doesn't... He doesn't stop talking. You know, he's that one guy.
Oh, he never does.
He's the friend that relies on you to pull him away when he starts a fight. So, guys, hold me back. That's him.
I don't think there's anyone to hold him back, though.
No.
There's literally no one. He just goes. He just goes.
Yeah.
He has his manager, I think. I'm sure Nate, if he's watching and he hasn't muted, I don't know if he's shaking his head or is like still faced. He's used to it. He knows what's gonna happen. You know.
It is what it is.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Well, let's be frank, John. They've been playing Dota for the last 15 years. You know, they probably punch like pillows at this point. Jing. Jing's gonna be alright.
Hey. Yo has been going boxing, okay?
Has he really?
He has said. He has shown it on stream. He has said he wants to go try a spar. Like, yeah, let's go sparring, Yoey. No problem.
Very
Should
nice.
be fun. I'm pretty rusty.
Keep that in mind for when we have the pleasure of seeing your way to land one day, John. See if he wants to. See if he
I'll
wants
bring
to
my
spar
gloves. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
I'll need a head guard and a mouthpiece, but it's all good.
I'll need to offer
You could
TNC
shadow box, Yoey.
I'll stand in for TNC if necessary. It's fine. I'll take over. I can. It's been a while since I played POS 1, but I can dust off the POS 1 gloves. You know, should be right.
6k lead for Blacklist. 20 minutes in, looking good so far. Really good momentum coming out. Really great spell usage. Again, the way they stagger, the way they position out to have all of these pieces of utility to break up these engagements from the side of TNC has been a massive part of Blacklist's success so far. Along with, again, really good early vision. They still have some really sneaky wards on the triangle, right by the Ancient, not quite blocking it, so you can't really tell until the rotation comes in. TNC will just try to safely go for their Tormentor. A nice freebie coming out for Cuckoo. A little bit of utility on the Cold Embrace. Not the most impactful, but it can have a little bit of a difference in some of these scenarios. Blacklist going for their own as well. They will get Jows, which is still one of the more crazy shards. It has been touched down a little bit, at the very least, lasting 5 seconds instead of 7. But information gain is still massive for good old Zhao, so he's going to be more than happy to have a freebie there. Can save up for the Ags, which it does look like he's lining up for. 1.7k in the bank. Could go for just an Ags rush if he gets lucky with the dig and finds even more bounties here as well. Oh, he does. More bounties.
Very nice.
Faster
Very
Ags.
nice.
Let's go, Zhao.
He's doing it. It's that quiet period of the game now where both sides are more than happy to just sit back and relax for a little bit. We talked to Savage about this yesterday. Savage, when I asked him how they were allowed to just farm for 25 minutes, he said, well, they just let me. You know, if they let you farm for that long, then so be it. I'll take the option every time. And I kind of wonder which team prefers to play the slower game, because you'd imagine it's TNC considering the state of the game. It's Blacklist Rivalry, smoke up, counter smoke from TNC already.
Well, theirs was under a ward on TNC side.
It was spotted. Blacklist Rivalry are very well aware that they are smoked up, and Gabby, he's going to move out, breaks his own smoke on Cox. It's like Abed will be able to take a shield rune for himself on the Dragon Knight, and that's going to be about it. So the smokes from either side don't really amount to anything.
Yeah, I think you're still happier on Blacklist. It is free space for Palos. And when it comes to the core head-to-head, the Face's Void can scale up quite fast, has the full Mjolnir, so there's some good damage to pump in onto the Chrono. Just needs the BKB to not get terrorized next time around. Still some waiting time necessary here for the side of TNC.
Dire's middle tower has been
And
denied.
we'll deny off the mid, so take away some more resources that TNC could have really enjoyed. A little bit of gold boon would have helped along the way. 5k lead still holding for Blacklist. Zhao isn't quite going for the Ags, he is going for the Solar Crest instead, so wants to have frontline protection here. Jing.
Jing's alright. He's seen... oh, hold on a minute. Jing, never mind, he's not alright. Jing is dead.
Yeah,
Bit of a
that
weird
was
one.
pretty awkward. He time-lapsed back into the lane once he saw Gabby, and then they had Dust and Zhao. He's ready. So a nice freebie coming out for Blacklist into Roshan. They've got the damage output for this one with a Corrosive Dragon form. Not going to take too long. I mean, there is time for TNC to respond, but they are playing up top. Tims is holding them off, making them think twice about even committing onto the objectives. They will find a tier 1 at least, but a tier 1 for Roche. Take that any time today here for Blacklist. Do have one more piece of utility though. Blink on Cuckoo could help the cause despite the Aegis. Just all about angling, all about spell usage now for both sides. Let's see how much Blacklist can get out with this Aegis, but they are going to take the gate across, and TNC, they're stuck in this top area.
They are. Here we go, Blacklist Rivalry, they'll show up. Problem is the TNC side, they just back out immediately. App damage rune going to be spotted out here by Tims, but Cox is making a run for it. Never mind, doesn't really see it himself anyway, so Tims will just go ahead and deny that one off himself. Blacklist, I mean, they're grouped up once again. Smoked up as 4, they'll head into that Radiant Triangle.
Dire are scanning.
The 4k advantage still standing here for Blacklist, but it's really nothing to write home about.
Radiant's
Seems
top
like Blacklist
tower is
Rivalry, they'll just get started in that top tier 2 tower.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Doesn't seem like TNC are at all interested in trying to defend this. They've kind of just stuck by that bottom lane now, and it seems as though that's exactly where they're going to stick around. Not too interested in trying to force a defense.
No. Again, they need time. They need this BKB up on Palos to really be comfy and trying to leverage that Chrono. Also have the BKB for Yoa not too far off. So you'll have your triple core BKB lined up relatively soon. And that should be the go point for TNC. Let's see if they start to feel confident then, but they are losing a lot of ground. Tier 2 top gone. Triangle invasions are easier. Good forward ward once more from Blacklist. The scout out if anyone's going to try to sneak around from the triangle into the left side camps.
Oh, don't mind me.
3k lead for Blacklist, though it has dropped. So TNC are working the map effectively enough to reel back some of that gold lead. There's that BKB for Yoa. Just need one on Palos. Again, the utility is there. Blink up on Cuckoo. You've got the Atos coming out for Jing. down the line into the Gleipnir for more hold. They smoke up, but Cox does break the smoke, and Yoa does show us as well with the Lightning Storm just a bit. The forward vision from TNC, not that great. They have one ward top, but it's really not telling them much. Let's swing down bot, but they are blind in that area.
I mean, here we go, they're coming. The Blacklist rivalry, they've got all the vision down in this bottom side of the map, so they're more than happy to fight around this area. Yoa's going to show himself to try to jump Natsumi, but he is already just too tanky to try and deal with, especially with the Aegis up. Meanwhile, they found Jing on the Weaver. Jing's going to be saved by the Cold Embrace, but Arbit's going to jump right onto Cuckoo. Cuckoo is gone. No Winter Wyvern available. He'll buy back for Arbit now in trouble on the Dragon Knight, but he's pretty tanky boy as the arena. It's going to catch 3 targets. Yoe, they'll save with the curse for now, but Yoe needs to get the hell out of there. Natsumi's just going to chase him down. They have got the Leshrac on. Natsumi's looking for more. They even found the Void on the backside. Palos goes down. Gabby will hand the tip over. Poor old Cuckoo, he just bought back. But it's going to mean nothing. He's caught out on the high ground. And he's as good as dead.
It's just falling apart for TNC. Again, they're trying to play aggressive. I'm surprised they forced the issue out so hard. While Palos doesn't have that BKB. He's just a sitting duck to this control. Not to mention the complete lack of damage whenever that Breed fires up, and if he gets Static Link, which didn't even happen in the last fight. Natsumi linked up Yoa instead. Just a very forced engagement coming out there from TNC. Blacklist come back on top, 6-17, 9k lead for their part. Siege onto the tier 2, still doesn't take too long, even in melee form for the DK. With a Worm's Rat. Should be able to find this one, no problem here. Or at least pressure in a little bit more. Aren't fully committing on the side of Blacklist with low respawns. TNC, they need to wait for that BKB, and at this point, I would say they need to play off of the chrono, even if it's just a one-man chrono. If you can isolate someone away and get that instant burst, play with a Corrosive Haze plus the Face's Void, things can start to look better. It's very optimistic for them to try to burst down Natsumi. Like, even if they found the Aegis life in Natsumi, there's no way they find a follow-through life unless, again, it's a strong chrono from Palos, taking away some of the saves in that chrono as well. Which has been hard to find for this Face's Void.
It certainly has been. Palos just has not had a game in this game number 1 so thus far. I mean, Blacklist rivalry just being so dominant. As of yet, I mean, the TNC, they're still in this game, not out of it quite yet, but 10k behind is not going to spell a pretty picture for TNC. It seems like Blacklist are almost ready to just go again. Scan is out. They're going to find TNC with that scan, and immediately Blacklist rivalry, they just pop a smoke. Tims will break his smoke. Palos will see him. Palos will back off immediately. And meanwhile, Gabby's having a look around for a nice arena. Terrorize is going to fly out. They found Palos. The arena's going to lock him down. Cuckoo's going to jump in for a Cold Embrace to try and save it. He's given up his own life. And Palos is still in trouble. Palos! He'll time walk away, but he's almost down. They've lost Cox. Jing will go for a run, but I think Yoa's going to be left behind. Jing will come back to try and help out, but all he can do is throw a swarm out. He'll time-lapse away. It's 3 for the price of 1 again for the side of Blacklist rivalry as Cuckoo will cop another tip here from Gabby. And the game, it just constantly continues to get more challenging if you are TNC. In fact, Jing is still around the bottom area. Arbit's going to find him. That's Jing gone.
It's a big mess for TNC. They popped the BKB in Palos a little bit too late. He's not able to find Chrono. They don't connect their spells. They're just feeding into the initiation of Blacklist. They're streaming in one by one. Gabby telling Cuckoo, don't be nervous. I don't think Cuckoo's nervous. I think you're... Yeah. Kabahan, don't be nervous.
Didn't even see that.
Cuckoo. And it's like, the Gabby's riling something up, trying to get...
Yeah.
He's also trying to play that mental warfare here up against the Godfather. We'll see. Sometimes this can galvanize a team into game 2. Because at this point, it's very hard to see the turn-back potential of 4 TNC. Mind you, you've got Faces Void, you've got Winter Wyvern, you've got the Curse and the Chrono. But you're at the point where Abed went for full Daedalus. You've got the Satanic lined up for Natsumi. You've got the Windwaker coming out for Gabby. They're also durable as well. 3 tanky cores that you have to contend with. No easy burst plays for the side of TNC. Unless they just gun for these supports first, which at this point probably isn't that bad of an idea. If you can find Tims or Zhao, you can certainly make your game a lot simpler here. Taking away the Static Storm, taking away the Bedlam, Terrorize, and the Brambles. I think that has to be the way these fights break out now for TNC. They will try with a smoke out. Again, very limited vision, limited reach here. See if they find anything.
And they're moving in. TNC, even just finding Januar would be probably a nice kill, but the problem is they're running right into the belly of the beast, I think, as Blacklist Rivalry, they are kind of surrounding TNC already. Cox will jump in, he gets pushed back though, and now Abed, he can intervene, he's onto the Slaughter, they'll glimpse him away though, so Cox is actually safe for now, but not for long. Gabby catches him in the arena, Abed will take out the kill, and now they've got Palos locked down. He'll go for a BKB TP away, and he will make it. But it's another lost team fight for TNC. They just can't really get away here from Blacklist Rivalry. Every single fight continues to work the way of the Dire. And TNC, there's just no opening for them.
It's not presenting itself. Again, they take a very risky smoke out. They don't have vision. They run into the high ground. Blacklist stays so disciplined to not be overly plump. They know that TNC is looking for a desperation play outside. Never giving any open opportunities. This is where TNC can be strong, at the very least, the high ground with the Chrono and the Curse. But it just feels so difficult when you're playing up against such tanky heroes. Again, it's a Razor, it's a DK, it's a Mars. These are all heroes that are just innately fairly tanky here. Your damage, even with a Corrosive Haze, even with this Leshrac, with a Kaya Sanj, doesn't feel like it's enough. The Yashikaya for the cast point. And it kind of goes back, right? Like he does go Yashikaya, you do have a little bit more cast speed bonus.
They found Palos.
Palos?
They have found Palos. I mean, he's got Chrono up, but he's got no BKB to try and abuse. He'll time walk away, and thankfully they did not have enough damage. I mean, had Abed had that dragon form, you might have actually just had enough, but it was 10 seconds on cooldown, and Palos is going to be alright.
Backs his way out, buys more time for him to farm up that Linken's. Just double defensive items for Palos. No other choice in this game. Again, I really appreciate the vision game here from Blacklist. Sneaky ward blocking the camp. They've got the ward right down on the mid lane. They can always spot out when TNC pops out. TNC, for their part, at least have one aggressive ward as well on that triangle. Spots out Abed. Not really the target they'd want to go for. They will smoke. That wasn't spotted out by vision.
They're wrapping around. Like, Abed's not an easy target by any stretch. Meanwhile, Roshan has begun. Blacklist Rivalry just allowing Natsumi to slowly chip away at the Roshan. Scan is out though. Perfect scan on the side of TNC, and Blacklist Rivalry, they'll get the Roshan raw, so it's almost just a bait. TNC, they have no idea it's coming. Cox, he'll jump in, but he's been caught out by the stun once again, as now Natsumi goes right onto Yoa with the static link, and Gabby, he's going to find a double spear in the arena. Palos is gone! Not again! Natsumi will take down Cuckoo in the meantime. Palos, I mean, he just got caught by a beautiful spear of Gabby. It was a double spear right out from the Mars, and just nothing he could have done about it.
Man, I'm not sure what's happening to TNC. Cox manages to get a good jump in the backline. There's no follow through. Tims manages to go into Shadow Realm. They can't get the kill. Their spell usage is just way too scattered. They're not able to get any chrono at all from Palos. To be fair, there's a lot of pressure in the Faceless Void this game to land a good chrono onto multiple heroes. That's your win condition. Either that or an isolated pickoff. But again, Blacklist have not been split apart long enough for them to find that isolated pickoff. Onto the high ground they go on the side of Blacklist. They've got the secondary life and the cheese available. Jing has to be so careful.
That bottom tier 3 tower, absolutely not lasting. There goes your tier 3.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
There goes your bottom racks to boot. I mean, nobody is going to be around to defend here up against Natsumi. They'll just completely avoid any kind of fight. They might move in now. The melee barracks is still standing, but Natsumi's still just casually taking it away. His Gabby's just going to push Jing out. They're going to try now. Palos? No, he'll throw no chrono. Just not seeing the opening he was looking for. That'd be about it. I mean, just the free bottom racks to be taken. No other contest, and Blacklist will happily retreat.
I mean, no need to really push the envelope too hard here on the side of Blacklist. They've got the advantage. They've got Arax up. They've got a lane that will constantly shove in. They've got good forward vision once more. And TNC, their options are just so limited. It feels like this high ground hold has to be where we get something from Palos. We have to see that chrono come in. But Blacklist, again, just very disciplined. Every single time the front lines are up front, the supports are hanging so far behind. They've got far-reaching spells. They don't need to put their bodies forward. They can allow Natsumi to just take point for the team. And just slowly poke away. TNC. I'm not sure if there's any items that fixes this for them. It feels like, especially with the Ags finally up in Zhao as well, it's just so difficult for TNC. Like, this last pick faces Void for Palos. It is a strong core, but we haven't seen the chrono come in at all. It came out one time and it didn't even land them a kill. Do you have a reconnect for good old Palos? You was asking them to wait, of course. Gabby, I will take your time. All right, Gabby. Oh, how civil.
Polite. A bunch of gentlemen here in this game, number one. Very nice to see. Yeah, in fairness, I think Blacklist can afford to be, gentlemanly right now, considering how.
Gabby, come on.
Even address him by his name. My goodness. Here we go again. The one racks up is Blacklist Rivalry. They still have the Aegis available here for another 2 minutes 20 seconds for Natsumi. And it seems as though they're going to try for the top racks. Palos will start chipping away at Natsumi's HP pool, but it is going to be a very slow process. Made even slower, of course, by Januel having the Solar Crest available. It's very hard to actually get through that physical HP barrier.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
It's range racks. It is just going down for free to Natsumi. They are going to smoke up this 4 here, TNT. They'll try to burst him down. Cox will make the jump in. They will try really hard for the Razor, but Natsumi's popped his BKB, and now they've just got the link out onto Yoe. Poor old Yoe being just stunned up for a million years. He'll finally turn around now as they lock down Natsumi. They've got the curse out. Palos, he'll drop the chrono. He's got the Aegis at the very least. They'll take down Tims to boot. Now on a Gabby, they'll go. The Mars in huge trouble. Here comes Natsumi again. Gabby is down. Natsumi starting to lose a lot of HP, but the problem is Cox. Cox is about to drop to boot. Abed, he'll try to get the job done with the curse, or rather the embrace is there from Cuckoo to ensure Cox will survive. There's now Gabby, he'll buy back. He's on a Cuckoo again. The Wyvern is down. They will continue for the bottom, or rather the top racks. Well, no, they won't. They will retreat. The Glyph will be forced out. Gabby's still sticking around here as they found in the mid lane.
Abed?
They will run into Yoa here with Abed. Abed, though, maybe going a little bit too far because the rest of his team has backed out. Gabby sticking around for now, but it seems that they know they've lost Abed. Abed is gone. And Blacklist, they gave away quite a lot. And 3 going down if you include the Aegis and a buyback being committed by Gabby. Not very good news.
Not the best bit of news. Again, you managed to find the range racks up top at least. Oh, Cuckoo. This is it. This is the comeback. The Godfather planned to be at a 20k deficit to get more gold, Mike. It's all according to Cuckoo's plan. Of course.
It was always according to Cuckoo's plan. Nothing's changed with Cuckoo. He always knew this was going to happen. Yeah, I'll tell you what, John, if Gabby keeps talking like this, Cuckoo might have to bust out the Cuckoo Mancer in game 2. He might have to do it.
I thought you were going to tell him to grab some boxing gloves, Mike.
No, no need for that, John. You just beat Blacklist and they'll let Albert take care of that part. Arvid will take care of it, don't you worry.
Yeah, tickets being sold right now for the sidewalk. Pay-per-view live, guys. No, it's not happening. Still, Blacklist, despite those losses, again, are still in a very strong position in this game. We've got the full butterfly up now for Natsumi. Ultra durable on that Razor. They're gonna need a way to pierce through. Palos is nowhere near considering something like the MKB. He needs that nullifier for how effective the Wind Waker from Gabby's been. And from Tim's. Yoe?
Actually finds Tim's. Pops his BKB and immediately just TP's out. Gabby's going to cop the tip here from Yoe. This is very good news for TNC, all things being said and done. Like, it's still a 17k advantage the way of Blacklist rivalry. But you keep finding these little pickoffs. And I do believe you have the better draft going into the later stages of the game. So it's all about buying a bit more time, I think, for TNC to regain a bit of a net worth advantage. And however, even if they can even out the net worth, at this stage of the game, things can get very scary very fast for Blacklist Rival.
And it can. And you've got the Chrono, you've got the Curse. These spells can always turn around a team fight if properly used. We're starting to see some of that more effective spell usage now from TNC. Nullifier for Palos, not too far off. So the Wind Wakers shouldn't be as big of an issue for him in the middle of these Chronos. Should be a lot easier to keep someone pinned down, get the damage you have out. And you still have room to scale. And you've got the Shivas coming out for Yoe. You've got a Wind Waker for Cox lined up. You could start to transition Jing to do a little bit more as well. He has the Gleipnir up for a little bit more hold. You can start to consider maybe trying to get some damage in through the Weaver on top of everything else, if space allows. I mean, that said, it's not like TNC are able to find objectives off the back of these kills. Tier 1 bot still stands. All Tier 2 is still healthy. Blacklist can just kind of sit back, wait for next Roshan. On the side of TNC, they still need some easy answers for this Razor. Again, like, Nullifier helps with Wind Wakers, but this Butterfly is going to be an issue for Natsumi. Didn't show it off in the last fight. It's going to be a big tool in the next one. And TNC can't allow the next rush to go away. They can fight into that pit. They don't have really good forward vision on the pit areas at all. And their reach is limited without the tier 2s. So we'll have to see if they can get in position by the time the rush is up. Blacklist, a little bit of a smoke out.
They're looking at Gabby. The pings were there. They did want to make the jump. TNC are going to reveal themselves in that mid lane for now, as they are going to go for that 5-man smoke. Blacklist rivalry, we'll see if they're ready for a fight, as the whole side just running right towards Natsumi on the Razor. They see Tims as well. Tims will break the smoke of Yoe there for a second. That'll allow the info Natsumi does require to back his way out and maybe reposition with the rest of his squad. Blacklist, they are ready for a fight. I mean, they're hanging around this bottom area of the map underneath their own vision. Happy to oblige to the fight that TNC are looking for, but TNC, of course, not going to venture that deep away from their base. Especially considering they have no vision around that area. They'll buy a gem out for Cox, so Cox will start having a look around for some D wards. But Blacklist, they are still casually just waiting for the right initiation, the right team fight. Now Gabby even has a refresher orb available on the Mars. This could be a very dangerous position for TNC. They'll get their own vision down by the Twin Gates, but if the right arena is dropped by Gabby, then the fight could break out and be over very fast.
Roshan?
Oh, this could be a detrimental Roshan attempt here from TNC. Gabby's moving right in. Smoke is broken. He'll jump in with the Shiver's got to get all the vision. He'll miss the spear though. Still fighting the arena. There's your Chrono. Palos, he'll try to take Gabby down and he's got him. No buyback available for Gabby. They'll lose Cox on the slaughter, but this could be the fight TNC's been looking for. Problem is Yoe. Yoe is dropping, but the curse from Kuku's going to hold them back for a second, but not for long. Oh, they've lost Palos to burn. It was a great start. I mean, they got Gabby on the Mars. They got the dieback immediately, but it still wasn't enough.
Natsumi's a big issue. Gets the link off. Yoe had no way to break on the Leshrac. They have no way of hitting him with the Butterfly and with the sustain he has from that Satanic. This Razor is way too big. The Chrono only landed on one. It had to land onto Natsumi as well from Palos. If that happened, maybe you could have tried to dodge out the Razor in the follow-through, get a reposition, reset a little bit, and go back in, but falls flat. And that's with Gabby not even popping the refresh. So when he respawns, Arena will be back up, double Arena is ready to go. And the high ground is open for the side of Blacklist. They've even got the Roche banner up as well if they want to just secure this push. Not going to go full force yet. Want that last set of racks on mid, and of course the top melee racks as well. They'll play it safe on the side of Blacklist. Maybe expecting buybacks to be ready. Not quite there on the two cores.
Absolutely not. Mid-racks will basically go down for free here for Natsumi. It's just Cuckoo trying to defend on the Wyvern, but that's not going to be anywhere near enough. There goes your mid-racks. On the top racks, Natsumi will go ahead and clear that out. Some Mega Creeps are now officially incoming. Jump in, Ahmed. He's already found the Weaver. Terrorize will land as well, but they've got the Cold Embrace to save here from Cuckoo. In the meantime, Natsumi starts to static link off onto Cox, but Cox will be able to walk away. Palos, dropping a lot of HP already, is going to try and chip away at Abed. But he doesn't have Chrono for another 20 seconds. They'll continue to try onto Natsumi, but Natsumi is perfectly fine to just casually walk out. And even if they found Natsumi, he's got a secondary life for the next 3.5 minutes. It's a very challenging ask for this Razor to die. It's Tim's. Bramble's out. He's going to catch himself a Leshrac. But Yoe is still going to be just fine. Jump is there onto Natsumi once again, but the Razor happy to stand his ground by the tier 4 tower, just slowly chipping away. They'll just continue to let Natsumi do this. I mean, they're not even bringing Abed in. Natsumi now officially fighting the tier 4 tower. That'll be the Ancient completely exposed here for Blacklist to try and take down. A lot of patience from Blacklist not to just try and go for the fight. Because TNC are standing right by their Ancient, so you don't want to risk too much. Jump in, Natsumi, don't miss the stun. Natsumi now making the jump in onto the Slaughter. Cox will be okay, the 4-staff away is there. Natsumi now being stunned up, may lose his first life. He'll pop his BKB in the Satanic, and no, he survives. He'll make it out. The Satanic BKB more than enough, he won't even lose the first life. But with the BKB Satanic down, oh, he refreshes, never mind. Pops the refresher shard immediately. Will have his BKB back up, but needs to wait on the Satanic a little bit as he has popped it to heal up once again.
Yeah, still in a good spot here for Blacklist. One last fight. That's all it is for TNC. You have to make this one work somehow.
They'll start onto Natsumi. Meanwhile, Gabby, he's found a nice arena. He found the Void already. Palos locked down in a Cold Embrace is going to die to Gabby. Voice line's being committed. Meanwhile, Natsumi, he'll take down Yoe. Cox is trying to take him out. They'll finally find the Aegis. And oh no! Oh, the Chrono Whiff. Gabby just uses the Wind Waker. Abed's still going. Palos needs to run. This game's over. And they're still trying to take down Natsumi. They might find Gabby, but Abed jumps back in. They'll take down the Leshrac. Yoe is down without buyback. There goes your the Winter Wyvern as well. They call it. A nice attempt from the side of TNC Predator, but Blacklist rivalry proving to be the better team here for this game number 1.